What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, Mike Learns Poker. Been a while, but I'm back. I think I just was needing a break. Got my butt kicked pretty good in the World Series of Poker. Have not been running great. Rough couple of months. But I have realized that my study habits have gotten worse as I've stepped away from making videos. So selfishly, getting back into it for me, so I can reestablish that routine and make sure that I'm looking at spots and getting better over time. And hopefully, I'm putting out good content that you all like. So do me a favor, share it if you like it. Drop some comments. Let me know what you want to see more of, less of. I would love to review hands that you all play. So if you want to do that, you can always submit hands to me too. But just engage and let me know how the channel's going for you. All right, let's dive into this hand. All right, little blind versus blind action here. Spoiler alert, this is me missing value massively. So I want to review it and make sure that this does not happen again in the future. So here's the action. It folds around to the small blind. We've got about 33 big. Well, he's got 33. I've got 36. And so there's going to be a lot of just limping here. You can see that they're going to call about half the time and raise 30% of the time. Not a lot of folds. So they decide to call. Notice their limps are kind of in the middle of the chart and the bottom of the chart. There's not a lot of limps with good hands. You got some ace jack and ace queen and ace 10 limps. And then some suited kings and queens, stuff like that. And then a lot of like suited connected stuff. So now check this out. In game, I decided to check, but your 7 deuce suited, 6 deuce suited, 5 deuce suited, all this kind of junky stuff, you can use as a raise. And I guess the thinking there is like the hand sucks, but it is the suited version of that hand. So if you get called, it's not the end of the world. There's a lot of real junk raises as a bluff, though. Like, look at all these crappy hands, and you just don't want to play them, right? So if you get folds, that's great. And then if you have to play them, you're playing in position after the flop, and so nothing wrong with that. You can be pretty aggressive because you're also raising all these big hands too. So that's to be balanced and have some bluffs. But we decide to check, which whatever, that's fine. We're not robots. Can't always play like GTO. So flop a flush, awesome. And small blind should check most of their hands. They're probably betting their fours, nines. Let's see, fours are betting pretty decent rate. Fours are the good kicker. Nines, yeah, sprinkle in some betting with your nines. Your aces are going to bet at a decent clip. You check. And now we are, so we can't look at this specific hand, but what we can do is look at, so if you go here, filters, and then you can look at what you're doing with your flushes. And so this is every combination of flush that you would have checked pre-flop. So 7-2 isn't in there, but you're going to play them all essentially the same. You can see you're doing quite a bit of betting, especially with these low, junky ones. When you do bet, you're betting third pot to 2/3 pot, mostly third pot. I decided to do 2/3 pot just because I'm probably ahead right now. If another heart comes off, I don't feel great about it. Opponent calls. All right. So then the turn is a 3 of spades. No worries there. And our opponent checks again. And now I think I should bet pretty big. Probably like 2/3 pot or more. And GTO Wizard agrees. This again, I filtered it for flushes. You betting 2/3 pot or pot? See what I did. Yeah, 2/3 ish pot. And we get a call. And then the river is it's an interesting card because if our opponent has a 5, awesome. Let's think about other things they could have that we want them to have. We want them to have ace deuce, ace 3, ace 4, obviously ace 5. We want them to have, they don't have it very often, but we want them to have ace king, ace queen, ace jack, ace 10. I think if they had ace 9, they would have played it differently already. So there's a lot of hands where we can get value. They check. And I think we just need to be betting gigantic here. So this says bet 170% pot, which is, I mean, that's basically an all in. You're just shoving over pot. I don't know if that's going to get, I think 2 pair probably calls that. I don't know if just an ace would call that. Maybe they would. Maybe they would. I made the biggest blunder of all blunders, which is checking it down. And then just to pour salt in my wound, opponent turns over ace king, which is going to pay me off with a pretty substantial bet. I don't know if they call an over jam, an overbet jam, but they're definitely going to call pot size bet. And so I just missed a massive amount of value here. So don't do this in your games. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. There's so many things that I could get paid off by. And okay, if they had a better flush, I'm pretty sure I would have heard from them by now. And if they have it, they have it. Whatever. Just who cares? Stop worrying about monsters under the bed. Because there's so many more combinations of hands that you're going to get paid by if you just play aggressively. So I blew this one. Disappointing, but always good to learn from your mistakes, and that's why we're doing this channel. All right, let's stop there. I'll see y'all next time.